But as you mentioned, your departure was somewhat acrimonious from Sky for all sorts of reasons. You've got more coverage than cabinet ministers in scandals. It was
extraordinary, Des. It was extraordinary. I thought I'd seen just about everything until I found myself in the middle of a forest fire.
You made some comments which were construed as sexist, and
yes,
and you apologised for them.
They
weren't on air.
No.
I should point that out.
Not that some would say that was an excuse, but
no.
we were doing what we'd done for 20 years, relaxing a nervous studio guest in the same way that you would in these conditions, and thought no more of it. What has always been conveniently forgotten is that as the game started, I'd asked our studio director, match director, to cut up a picture of Sian, and I said, we wish her all the very best this afternoon.
Yeah, she is.
Is she? Oh, she is, yes. She's from my manor, I said, because they didn't want me to say that she was a girl from Coventry. And I said, I probably went to school with her dad. Good luck to her. It's a big day. Big call on half-time, which she got right. When I rang her and spoke to her on the Sunday, I cannot tell you the relief that she was still feeling that she got it right. And she said to me, thank you for not showing the other one, because she got one horribly wrong. And we made the decision we wouldn't show it because it wasn't fair. She also said to me, please, it was just banter. And I said, I know that, Sian. I know that, and you know. She said, I expected it last week at Sunderland. It's just a little bit of fun. I said, I know. But there are other people now who have decided it's not, and it's out of hand, so I need to apologise. Well, I'm not listening. I don't want to know. It was one of those. And I said, no, on behalf of Andy and myself, I should apologise and make it official.
Then it wasn't just that, though. Other stuff came out, and then it became a little bit of a campaign.
And nothing was being said about it. And I went home that night and thought, well, you know, this isn't right. There's so much of the minutiae I would love to get in with you, but we'd be here all night.
We've got time, I'll tell you.
No, we haven't, trust me.
If it's interesting,
we haven't.
Otherwise.
But it was when I realised that I wasn't quite being told the truth by my employers at that time about what was happening behind the scenes, that I knew we were being driven by someone who had an agenda elsewhere. That apology was made Sunday afternoon. When it finally surfaced on Monday about 3 o'clock, I think on a Kay Burley news programme, Richard Keys apologises for it in a manner that led everybody to think, well, at last he's been put on the spot, and quite right, he's reacted to public opinion, and now look, but not before time. Well, 24 hours old. I could go elsewhere with this, but I won't for now.
You did say there were, the phrase you used at the time, were dark forces,
yes,
which sounded very Machiavellian.
Well, it was, wasn't it? Because I'd apologised, as I'd been asked to do on the Sunday. The news of that apology would never have come to light if I hadn't rung our press office and said, why are we not telling people? Oh, well, the Premier League don't want that. I said, really? So I spoke to Richard Scudamore and said, what's your problem? He said, I haven't got one. It's Sky that don't want it public.
But you got caught up in this scenario where there were papers lecturing on sexism.
I'll never forget the Sun's front page, the self-appointed arbiters of good taste, with an upskirt shot of Sian Massey at a party and the headline, "Get 'em off." Now, please, explain that to me.
Well, I don't want to, right? Because I'll get taken off air for the same reasons. My point was that there were editorials condemning sexism. Of course, there was still Page 3, and equally there were broadcasters who were getting rid of you, and they had their own little elements of...
it was a wonderful opportunity for everybody. Well, listen, what frustrated me most was that after 20 years good service, Andy was sacked in a 30-second phone call. And at that point, I made the decision that I was leaving as well, because there was nothing left for me to want to be part of. People who could do that to someone and he's a really good mate, someone who I'd worked with as closely as I had, someone who'd contributed what he had.
Well, you've been there since the start of the Premier League, been on screen all the way through.
Some people talk about Andy rewriting the rule book on analysis. No, he wrote the rule book. He invented it in its modern form. And I was so totally deflated, there was nothing left. Now, of course, that's also been construed, that grand gesture, as jumping before I was pushed. But it was a decision I'd made, I wanted to take. I'm not sure that the magnitude of what I'd done ever quite hit me for the best part of 6 months, but it was the right thing to do.
Do you have any regrets?
None. I regret much about what happened around and about us, but I don't. Listen. How did a conversation from a studio, recorded on a mobile phone, find its way to the Mail on Sunday? Now, you tell me.
Again, I'd rather not right now.
No, because I've told you and you know, and I know too, but that's not for now. But that's how it blew. A studio conversation recorded on a mobile phone that was leaked to the Mail on Sunday.